Hey folks, do we think an altcoin season has started? An altcoin season has started. Do we think so? Well, what? Not this altcoin season again, please, Pablo, because last two times it didn't work out all that well. Okay, what happened the last two times? Last two times there was no QE and QT, no end of QT. But what do I think now? An altcoin season is finally here, and it just started. It just started. It takes someone brave with courage to say altcoin season had just started. The last two times, this is what happened. I called the first one in November 2023 when it was here. There was a big run for 2 months, and rather than running on for another like 3 or 4 months and be a real alt season, it kind of just stopped. Then I called it again around here, right? And I kept on calling for 94K Bitcoin when Bitcoin was around like 50s. And therefore, altcoins would make a big run as well. It also happened. And then Trump came in and kind of ended all of that, right? I mean, all that tariff talk, all those threats, that kind of ended it as well. So each time there was a small thrust. You could call that actually a big thrust. A lot of coins went up like 30, 40x, the smaller ones, in these moves. Right? I called both of these at the start or even before it starts. The problem is none of them were sustained. They both ran about like 2.5 months, and they went sideways. Bitcoin went down like 20, 30%, and altcoins went down like 50%, 70%. Depends on how small the altcoins you're buying. The problem is this. The problem is when I call for an altcoin season, nobody gets in at the start. Kind of like what I'm doing right now, right? I'm calling for altcoin season right now. A real altcoin season that's going to last like maybe 3-4 months rather than this 2 month and then crap out kind of stuff. I'm not saying 100% it's going to happen, but I think there's a real good probability. And I'll explain to you guys why I call for that altcoin season. Most people don't get in at the start. They only get in a month, 2 months after I make this video, and they see altcoins have gone up like 5-6x, and then they say, oh, altcoin season, they get in, and it's at the top, right? That's the problem. Before we get into talking about altcoin season, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo He-Man use? Well, Pablo uses an exchange that's non-KYC. That means it does not ask you for any ID. That means they can't even see if you're American or not, so of course Americans can use it. So just by joining, there's over $8,000 of newbie prizes just for joining and using it. So that's why I made a deal with them, right? This is the Pablo He-Man link, over 1.3 million global users. It's the largest non-KYC exchange in the world. It's also the fastest growing exchange in the world. And it's only available on the Pablo He-Man link for this $8,000 newbie prizes. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. The link is in the description below, but that's okay if you're watching on another platform, such as this one. Then basically just click on my profile page and then click on the stand link, and it'll be the first deal that pops up because this is a big deal, right? Bitunix, the first one that pops up on my profile page. Okay, let's get back to the markets. And remember, folks, this is only on the Pablo He-Man link. Okay, now with Bitcoin, basically, each time when Bitcoin has a thrust, altcoins have this major thrust. Bitcoin has a thrust, altcoin has this major thrust, and then it's pullback, right? Do you know what? So these were big, good altcoin runs, except they were short. You just had to time it. An exit kind of near the top, kind of anywhere around this area, right? Don't have to get the exact top. I warned that we should be playing at least 50% defense here. I should have warned more and said, look, maybe 80, 90% defense around here, right? I made those videos. And that's because I got carried away with sentiment as well. I thought Trump's going to help us. And instead, all he has done is basically just grab literally liquidity and money into his own pockets through the Trump coin. Basically, he's rewarding not you guys, not the MAGA voters, but the top 220 guys, right? The top 220 rich guys who could afford to buy $500,000 or more minimum in Trump coin, he's rewarding those whales and Wall Street guys. Anyways, okay, so let's get back to the altcoin market. So what do we mean by an altcoin run? Well, okay, an altcoin run is, this is total crypto market cap except Bitcoin and ETH. What do they call total 3, right? What they mean by altcoin run is something like this. This leg up, right? When it beats the old all-time high and goes for a major run like this. Similar here. We're still hit the old all-time high of 2021, November 2021, and we haven't had this leg up yet. That's when the big final blow off top altcoin run will be. So it'd be something like right now we're kind of, well, there was no pullback here, but right now we're kind of like here in this sort of situation, and when it does run like this, that's the altcoin run. And people are like, oh, Pablo, that's a tiny little bit of the chart. Bro, you got to get better at math, man. We are only looking at a logarithmic scale. Let me adjust that so you can see what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. The run from here, $311 billion, to here, $980 billion, or to here, $1.13 trillion. That's like a 3.5x run. A 3.5x run in the big altcoins. This here from the bottom, right? From the bottom was also a good run. But the real altcoin run is when it beats the old all-time high and has this crazy run, right? That's actually the real alt season. So far, we haven't had that. So far, we've had this run up to here, pull back, up to here, pull back, right? So we need a new leg up that beats the old all-time high on altcoins. When does that happen? When does that happen? People say, oh, altcoins are lagging because Bitcoin is already way above its old all-time high. The old all-time high for Bitcoin was like at 69K in 2021. And now altcoins are like, now Bitcoin's at 90 something, 100 something K again. And yet altcoins are still at hit the old all-time high and pulled below. So altcoins is lagging. But you know what? That's supposed to happen. Let me show you on the charts. That is supposed to happen. First of all, catching these two legs up is actually quite good. If you got in around here, November the 6th, and you didn't hesitate until like maybe February 2024 to go all in, if you went heavy early, then look at the market cap of altcoins here. In early November was my first signal, 388 billion. When it hit the top, it was 1.16 trillion. That was 3x run. That was a 3x run if you just held just the top large altcoins. Not to count even the small altcoins would have had like a 10x, 20x run. Even right now, it's 815. 815 compared to when my first signal came out, around 300-400. That's still 2 to 2.5x run, even right now. So now the question is, when does altcoins do these sort of big runs? Do these sort of big runs? Okay, let's have a look. Are they lagging or not? Are they behind schedule or are they just right on schedule right now? Okay, now I am using the total altcoins market cap. So it's everything excluding Bitcoin, so including ETH. This orange line is Bitcoin. So let's have a look at last cycle. Let's have a look at this. When did alts have that crazy run? Bitcoin old top was something around 20,000. And when Bitcoin beat that top, right, alts were still down here. Alts haven't beaten its old all-time high yet. And then when Bitcoin went for a crazy run like here, which was 38,000, 39,000, which was 2x up on its old all-time high, where were altcoins? Altcoins that week was still down here. That was at 321 billion, and the old altcoins high was at 456 billion. So it was still way below the old all-time high. That's exactly where we're at right now, here. And then you think, once again, oh, Pablo, there's not much altcoin run left. Why would you call that alt season? Because look at the numbers. Here, 319 billion. Here, 1.46, well, here is 1.7 trillion. So that's like a 5x run. Imagine ETH. These are only the large altcoins. Imagine ETH, BNB, Solana, XRP, all making a 5x run. Then how much would those small, tiny altcoins do? right? 20x, 50x. And once again, I will say, for people who don't understand math, I'm using a logarithm chart. If I was to use a natural chart, you can see it more clearly. When did Bitcoin hit all-time high? It was here, right? November 2020. By that stage, altcoins were still down here. It's nowhere near its all-time high. Bitcoin doubled on its all-time high, and this is Jan 2021. Altcoins were still down here. For this leg up, that's the alt season. And then you had another alt season in, this is all of 2021. That's why it was crazy. Bitcoin was only making this leg up. So in other words, that's summarized. An altcoin season is not when Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. An altcoin season is when Bitcoin already made one leg up, and then it goes for the second leg up. So the second leg up is from here onwards, from January 2021. From January 2021, this is the alt season. This is the alt season. It's the second leg up in the Bitcoin run. So where's Bitcoin right now? Bitcoin, all-time high at 69K. Bitcoin got to like 72, 73K, and then pulled back. Alts had a small run and pulled back. Second time, it went one leg up, right, to 109K and then pulled back. Alts again had another run, but it wasn't huge. So this was the first leg up above the all-time high for Bitcoin. Now we're going to have that second leg up. I think we're going to, above 109K. The second leg up, and then alts are going to have that, boom, another 3x to 5x up. That's where it is. Okay, let's have a look again at even earlier, at 2018 bull run. See what happened. This is an incomplete chart because for the alts, it only goes back to 2014, mid-2014. So when did Bitcoin, the orange line, get above its all-time high? Bitcoin did that in 2014. Bitcoin did that in the last bull run. Look at this, right? Look at this. The old high was around 1,140. And Bitcoin got above that, touched that in March 2017. And then went for a first leg up. This is 2,800. So 2.5x above the all-time high. And that was in June 2017. So let's have a look at where the altcoins were. Altcoins, this top was November 2013. So unfortunately, I don't have the data for November. This is only March 2014. I don't have the data for November 2013, where altcoins was probably like here, right? That was the blow off top. But say 2017, March 2017, Bitcoin touches the all-time high. Where is it? Here. Right here. Altcoins were here at what? 1.25 billion. Okay, 1.25 billion. And then when Bitcoin goes for a new big leg up, that was June 2017. Where was altcoins then? 18 billion. That's where we are right now. Because Bitcoin has made one big leg up above its all-time high. And then this is the altcoin season, what people call altcoin season run, the big run. And once again, to people who are mathematically challenged, it's like, oh, it looks so small. How can that be an altcoin run, Pablo? It looks so small in the charts. Let me show you how big it is. That's how big it is, bro. June 2017 is when Bitcoin alts were at 19 billion. Then it ran to 476 billion. That's 25x run, bro. 25x run. That happened not when that 25x run in altcoins happened. Not when Bitcoin hit its all-time high. It didn't even start after Bitcoin went one leg up above the all-time high. It started on the second and final leg when Bitcoin went up. That's how an altcoin season happens. So that's where we are right now. We had Bitcoin hit its all-time high early last year when it hit 73K, because the old high was 69K. It was roughly the same level. Then it went down, then Bitcoin went to 108, 109K. That was the first leg up above the all-time high. And alts still didn't have a real altcoin season. It basically went and touched the all-time high. But for alts to go above the all-time high and swing up, having that massive 5x, 4x leg up for the big altcoins, that only happens when Bitcoin has its second and final leg up. And that's where we think we are right now. So in other words, let's have a look at Bitcoin. For altcoin season to happen, we need Bitcoin to not only hit its all-time high, not only have a first leg up, but also have a second big leg up, something like this, right? Where does Bitcoin go? Like it should easily be above 120K. All of what I'm saying right now only happens when Bitcoin goes easily above 120K. Whether that's 140, 150, 160, 180, or beyond, I don't know what it is. But it looks like that can happen. Why am I saying something that seems crazy, like Bitcoin can do that? Well, I made a very detailed video of why Bitcoin and the stock market is heading for a blow-off top. Blow-off top. That was my yesterday's video, right? If you want to know where Bitcoin's going, nothing's 100%. I would say with 80% probability, I think that's where Bitcoin and stock market is headed. Blow-off top. Have a watch of my yesterday's video combined with this one, and you see why I think a new altcoin season has started now. And of course, this video is not going to be popular. It's not going to get huge views. Yesterday's video is not going to be popular because people are still just waking up, not sure. They think this is another fake out, right? And of course, 3 months from now, when everything has gone up 20x, they're going to be like, oh, it's a bull run. It's a bull run. Now let's get in. When it's already Bitcoin probably, altcoins probably within 30% of the final top. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. Catch you guys next time.